Assalamu alaikum. Hello, my fellow divine lovers, lovers of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This is Whispers of the Heart, and my heart lately hasn't been able to let me get up here and continue. But recently I experienced something extraordinary, out of the normal, per se. So I had to come back here and share it with you guys. And obviously just recap that day for myself. This video is inspired actually by the book called Secrets of Divine Love by A. Halva, and if I brutally devoured your name, I am so sorry. Now, this book was actually inspired by a dream I had based on books. Now, let me tell you what exactly happened in the dream. I was in India, um, Mumbai to be precise, and I normally like always go there. So there's this bookstore in India that we used to go to as kids in a local area near the apartment that I used to stay in. So I entered the bookstore and I was looking at normal books, as in like the books that I actually used to read, which was actually romantic books back then. But then like the book that I picked was very expensive, and honestly I just in that dream I just knew I didn't want to read this book, and I was over reading those books. So and then like I turned to the Islamic book section, and I was inspired. Like I felt connected, I felt drawn to it. But all the books that I saw had been books that I already had read or that I've seen before. So it wasn't something that I actually wanted to buy. And I remember turning around and saying like, it's okay, I'm gonna find the book that I need. Now I don't know exactly what that dream meant, but all I knew was after I woke up, I didn't know there was a book that I needed to read and I wanted to read for a long period of time. So this was the book, Secrets of Divine Love, and I will make sure to put it there in the video when I do mention it. My name is, I'm just kidding. I will never reveal to you who I am, only because I just want this to be a very connected experience between us Muslims, and I feel like only God should know who I am, you know? So I'm sorry if you feel like me not revealing myself would hurt you in any way, but I just like to keep my privacy. Anyways, moving on. Have you guys ever felt so lost and you feel like you're basically floating out of your body? This is how I have been feeling, empty. Empty because it's not like I cannot find value in anything, but I had been feeling more alone than ever. But suddenly, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala always like found a way to warm my heart in that darkness. Now, let me just tell you something about influence and good morals. Now, here's basically where I'm going to start talking about what exactly had happened. So, soon. um, Allah asks from us to be kind, patient, and good, and sometimes it is hard. But imagine this. Imagine this happens to you. One day, I went on a trip with some friends, and my friends are not Muslim, but I am. And to me, when I hear Allah calling me through that adhan, I start to stress. How do I tell them? Where can I pray? Or where do I even go? Like, I just immediately start to stress. You see, I was not exactly in town. I was outside touristing in my own country with amazing friends. And when I heard the adhan, I started to be anxious, and generally I'm a straightforward person. So as soon as my friend went to do ATV, I had to find any place to pray. And you see, I only had a 10-minute window until I am late for Dhuhr. And honestly, it had been 30 minutes till I found a place. I got out of the car and then I didn't just get out of the car. When I was at the ATV, I asked the man there if there was a place that I could pray, and he said no. But he did say that there was a mosque nearby. So I walked to this lady who was nearby me and told her that the man said that there was a nearby mosque. And I asked her, do you know where it is? She immediately had turned to her son and called out, Ali, show her the mosque. And then Ali came all the way from, I guess he was playing, and he came all the way from a side. And he basically took me all the way to the mosque. Now, while I was walking, all I could think about was his name. His name in Islam refers to an important figure. He was basically the cousin of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Now Ali was taking me to the mosque and tells me that I can pray behind. I entered the mosque and it was quiet, small, but so peaceful, subhanallah. Anyways, I had prayed Dhuhr and felt the need to do charity straight away because it was intentionally for Ali as he walked me all the way there. And I felt bad. But I saw so many children nearby, and everyone was I don't know, it just felt like an inspiring moment, and I had to do it from the bottom of my heart. But you see, like, I didn't only want to give him also, I wanted to give all the kids that I saw when I walked past there while going towards the mosque. So I grabbed a few bags of candy and told my non-Muslim friend to help me by driving around so we could hand out candies to mothers, children, anyone who we could find. And it was a wholesome time to see him be charitable, not because he hasn't done it, but because this was the first time that I actually saw it. You see, time had passed and it was already time for Asr and also to pick up my friend. So I had asked them if they could wait while I go pray at the same mosque. Now, when I got there were a lot of kids and men, as in men who already started praying. Now, these kids were looking at me like I was different or a bright light. And in fairness, I was dressed different and light skinned. I am light skinned. So for them, it was like unusual because not a lot of people in the villages are very mixed. So to them, it was just very unusual. And then you might ask, like, how do I know that? I live in this country, right? So, like, I know what it's like to be part of the villages. I know what it's like to be part of high society, mid society. It's very different. And to be honest, the whole country just, anyways, looks at different colors and different cultures very weirdly. But when I mean that, it's not like they did not accept me. The mosque was at the center of the village, and honestly, I've never felt so connected to God. And it might seem stupid, but the less luxurious a place is for me, the more connected I feel to God. And that place was everything to me. It was small, and woman had its small section behind a brick wall. And I'd heard people saying that in generalness, I don't know how people like do this, but or feel that way, but I've heard people saying that they're very uncomfortable to pray in less cleanliness areas. But to me, like, it just humbles me. You know what I mean? Like, it just feels like I'm at home. Like, if I could, I would just pray on the street. I don't mind that. So anyways, I did wudu with the kids and I went inside on my own. And I was getting ready to pray. So I was basically putting on my dress, my abaya for prayer. And just before I had started, a girl came and stood right beside me and looked at me like she was waiting for something. So she asked me, so I asked her, sorry. So I asked her, should I lead? And then she nodded. And then another girl came. So I had just started. And when I started, a few other girls had joined in. And they were all so young, so I felt so touched. Like, you know why I felt touched? Because before this happened, I told my friend that I wanted to try to lead because I've never led anyone in prayer in my life, and I feel like that's the way to learn how to pray properly as well. So I did ask my friend, like, we should lead each other, and it was just me and her, so it was very comfortable for me to do that. And she had given me the ability to be courageous and like to actually feel confident in what I was saying, right? Because to be fair, I am not the best at reading or saying something in Arabic, you know? So that was our heartfelt moment. Like, I've never been so touched in my life. Like, I don't know, I was preparing for something like this. Yes, even though there was like five, six girls, but that was just training for me. Like I literally wanted to cry. So anyways, I had, sorry, um, I've never led anyone in prayer. And that was like, at the end, I couldn't help it but tear up. And you know what's so funny? Like, after I was done praying, I actually thanked the girls, and they were just looking at me like, huh? Like, like what's going on with her? Because like I had like thanked them. But yeah, I just realized sometimes you train for things beforehand and you don't even know what's going to happen to you in the future. So like, I'm imagining myself if I went there and the girl stood beside me and I just stood there not knowing what to do. So I feel like everything you do in life, like in that moment, like when I was doing that, they weren't influenced by me. I was influenced by them. Like, they made me feel so good, even though I was the one leading. I don't know how they managed, but the influence that they did not treat me different. They did not see my skin color or anything in that mosque. All they felt was to pray right beside me. And and to me, that was like a really sensitive time, you know? So I haven't been going through I've been going through a lot of things, and that was just a hurtful moment. Is where I'm coming to my morality and influence. Like sometimes the things that you do really influences other people. At that moment, whatever I did may have been a light in their eyes, but it was definitely a light in mine. And the fact that they did not discriminate me or see me as different, they stood so close to me and we prayed as one. And that is Islam. We prayed as one. And sometimes the actions that you do or the things that you do influences people in good or bad ways. So it only takes like 2 seconds to do the right things and 2 seconds to do the wrong thing. So be careful what you do because right thing. So really, really, really look at your actions. And you like the whole point of me saying that I was referring this whole thing to a book and I was inspired by this book because that's exactly what happened to the girl in the book. She saw someone that actually brought spirituality into her soul, you know? It inspired her. So it is only you who can choose to be what type of person you want to be in life. You see, in many circumstances, like the girl in the book, like I did as well, knew Islam through like looking or someone or seeing something, you know? So even though I was Muslim, I had to still learn it. Anyways, that is all I want to talk about today. It's just that I wanted to share this short story with you guys. And to be honest, like I don't know how to explain to you how I felt at that moment, but all I know was Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala was there. And that is all I want to say. Um, Hopefully I get to see you guys tomorrow as well because knowing me, I'm just in and out, but I will try my best to keep up to date with this and not try to be influenced in a bad way. And to keep my spirits up because I'm not alone. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is always with you and with me. Assalamu alaikum and good night.